When are you gonna start talking again?
Wait in a way for something that I know is mine. There's a spot for me in the industry. I know there's a slot. I'm not saying I'm the next Bad Bunny. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't even know if I want that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tackle it when it comes. What I'm saying is that there's a slot for Jairo. There's a slot for the brand Rakata. There's a slot in there. I believe in it.
Yeah.
I believe in it. And no one else in this moment has to believe in it except for the people that need to believe in it. You know what I mean? Whether that be from my business partner or my family or even just fans. You know, we run into people all the time and, you know, Rakata music. And it's like, yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So, you know, whoever believes it, let's go on the journey. Let's win. And I ain't stopping, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I love it too much.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, I guess that's what I'm saying. You know, you'll have experience once you get older as opposed to when you're a kid. Take advantage of you.
There it is. Wow. Let's get started. we already recorded like half of a podcast already.
Yeah. I know we're on a time crunch too, my bad.
With that said, you guys, my guest this evening is none other than Jairo. Back again. That's
Hey,
right. In the
thanks
Tap
for having me,
Studios,
man.
gracing me, man. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. You're just always got a cool vibe. Feel like we're just at a bar, kind of almost, you know, because of your vibe here too.
Thanks.
Feels like we're just talking, you
Yeah.
know, over a beer, over, you know, whatever, man. So
Well, that's
thank
the thing.
you for making me welcome.
And I appreciate that. And we are just talking. You know, there is notes here, but that's just, you know,
Yeah.
because I like to, you know, plug everything that's going on with you. But yeah, this is just a conversation. I hate to say that it's a Q&A, like questions and answers or an interview, because I try not to be that interview type of person and just let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it started. Let's put the phones away and let's have a conversation. I never knew I was going to bring out a phone to record and then lights, camera, action. But it is what it is, and
Yeah.
we're gonna roll with it, you know.
Yeah, well, you're having great conversations. Why not let the world see it?
Exactly.
Especially with, you know, the internet and everything that we have.
Who doesn't want to be a fly on the wall in a conversation, right?
Yeah, exactly. You never know who you're helping on the other end.
Exactly.
Something you might say.
Right.
No matter how big or small your podcast is, no matter how big or small.
Yeah.
You know, shit. You know, doing Rakata podcast, a new podcast that, you know, we started, and it's like, man, it's not about how big or small it is right now. It's about the impact. It's about are people having fun with it? Are people tuning into the content that you're shooting? Is it something fun? Is it something they can learn from? Advice?
Yeah.
That's really the bottom line, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why did you start Rakata? Was that just the reason right there? Just wanted to start vibing with certain people on your own platform?
Rakata the label or the podcast?
Rakata the podcast.
Rakata podcast. Yeah. So Rakata podcast, I really, you know, saw people doing it for a while, and I've always been good. I like to think I've been mainly good with people in the sense of being able to talk to them and listen and me learn from them and me ask questions just in my personal life as I'm going through my music journey. You know, and then the whole podcast thing is really popular, and, you know, nowadays it's like, you know, people just need entertainment, and it costs very little money, all things considered, to start a podcast.
Right.
You know, you don't have to be like, you know, have all this money. You just have to be creative with what you have. And you know what? Why not brand it? Why not put it out to the world? I know this is a thing, and I actually like talking to people.
Yeah.
I don't like to be a quiet guy. I like to speak my mind when it's appropriate and learn from people. So then that kind of whole thing was going on in my head, and, you know, it's like, why not do it? Let's do it. And let me brand it Rakata Podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's stay within brand. And outside of that, very selfishly, if I can say, or maybe even selfish, if you think about it, I want to put light on other people.
Yeah.
I want to put light on other artists, and they don't have to be artists. It could be models, it could be dancers, anyone who I actually know or may know a little bit and want to get to know them more on a deeper level than being at the club like, hey, how you doing? Loud music. Oh, papi, todo bien, pum, pum. I saw your new single. All right, cool, man. I'll see you later. Then to actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And so the second thing is I wanted to shine light on people who I wanted to talk to. People who I think have a really cool vibe, have really good music, are really talented, or we just had a conversation once, and I want to get to know you more. Why not record it and let the world see it?
Well, you'll be surprised how many people have good stories or just a story to tell that have never gotten the opportunity to speak out loud like that. You know, where they might tell one or two people, but never like a platform like that.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said earlier, someone may benefit from listening to that story.
And that's what I tell the guests when they come through. It's like you may have done a few podcasts, you may have done a few interviews, and that's cool. But you didn't have a conversation with me. You didn't have a conversation with Jairo and Rakata podcast, and the questions I want to ask, and the type of experience I want you to have in my space.
Yeah.
I want to shine light on you because there might be people on your end who may not know that side of you, and because of that, now they're like, you know what? I really like how he expressed himself in that. He makes music. Let me go check it out. And obviously, if the music's good, then there you go, an extra fan you can gain. So, in conclusion, man, that's why I started the Rakata podcast. You know, because then the third piece of that is, when you help others, you're helping yourself. Yeah. When you shine light on other people, you shine a light on yourself. Oh yeah. Quite literally and figuratively. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's like the cherry on top. So you mean to tell me if I help you and genuinely help you in the sense of shining light on you, then the universe and karma will come back around? The answer is yes. Yeah. And my life, different life experiences throughout my life have showed me that in personal life and in business. Yeah. And so that's what Rakata podcast is about, man.
You know, and it is. And not only that, like I tell my son, I want you to start teaching, and you know, he's all into baseball right now, and I tell him, you know, I want you to start teaching younger kids or just your teammates, like start teaching them what you know, what you learned at with your trainer, because it's going to make you better at what you're training at. You know what I mean? So like for you, you're interviewing, you're talking to people, asking those questions. It's only going to make you better at, not that you need to practice on speaking, because Jairo, I mean, let me tell you, this guy, he should be a philosopher. I'm sure one day we're gonna be talking and reading books about Jairo. You know, I swear to God.
I don't know,
man.
We'll see.
But you're just
you can sharpen up your skills.
Thank you. Yeah. You're sharpening it up.
Yeah, and you know what I really have sharpened? What kind of skill I have, since we're on the topic of podcasts and stuff? You want to know what skill I've sharpened the most, and I like it because it's challenging, but so it means I'm growing. Yeah. Listening.
That's huge.
Listening to what the guest is saying, not hearing them. There's a big difference between hearing someone out, like, and then listening. Yeah. Making them feel they're being heard. Yeah. They're being listened to. That's a different thing. Oh yeah. And that has been probably the skill that I've been sharpening the most. And it's ironic, right? Because it's like a podcast. I'm the one talking. But no, really, I'm learning. Yeah. And I'm learning how to listen to people. Yeah. That's been the coolest thing. I don't know if I've ever said that on an interview, but for the podcast. But you're asking me about it. And
there's always a first. But
I'm telling you.
I'll tell you right now, I don't know how many podcasts I've listened to that I have to tune out because the interviewer maybe is oblivious to it, but it's just talking over the guests. It's because they're not listening. You know, they're not engaged in the conversation. They're going off of their notes where they have to like on to the next question. Yeah. So you answer that onto the next one. So it's not a Q&A. See, that's why, again, I say it's more of a conversation. Yeah. So yeah, you're 100% right about that. It just trains you on how to listen.
Yeah, yeah. And it's okay to have notes, you know, too, but there's definitely a balance, you know, is what you're saying. And even for me at the podcast, like, you know, there's certain fun questions I want to ask, and, you know, they're there on the laptop at a certain point in the interview, but you have to listen. And I think that's the biggest gift so far that I've learned in the podcast that I didn't know was going to happen. I knew I was going to learn, but more of the people I'm talking to and learn technical difficulties and so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes we got to learn. But the biggest gift so far has been sharpening my listening skills.
Let me ask you this. Since we're on the podcast conversation, do you ever plan on doing like a gimmicky segment or anything like that where like, oh, let's see what the listeners have to say, or truth or false, you know, those kind of things, like, you know how they have in radio stations. Yeah. You ever plan on doing anything like that?
Yeah, I'd be open to it. Yeah. I'd be open to it. And, you know, and right now Rakata Podcast is in the early stages of who my audience is. You know what I mean? I'm learning. You know, I'm learning as I'm going, and you know, I'm figuring out what kind of questions I want to ask. You know, do I want it to be fun? Do I want it to be serious? Do I want it to be inspirational? Yeah. To be honest, I want it to be all of them. Yeah. Because there's a little bit of Jairo in all of those. I can be fun. I can be a guy who, I don't want to say serious, but who is very focused, and I guess that can be perceived as serious and very, you know, go-getter. Yeah. So that can be perceived as serious. You know, I'm also an inspirational. I like to be inspirational to people if I can, and help the people or kids or people who are watching who want to be into music, because I was that little kid. So I'm all those things, but yeah, I'm open to having like a segment like that, just because Jairo's also a little bit of that, you know what I mean? And if Jairo's a little bit of that, I'd like Rakata Podcast to be a little bit of that.
We keep throwing it around, Rakata, and we never introduced what that was. Since the last time you were here, Rakata wasn't even...
I'm wearing one of our exclusive merch
there
hoodies.
You go. Maybe it was an idea, but it just wasn't... It hadn't come to fruition yet. So what is Rakata and how did it get started?
Yeah, so when we came here in 2021, it was early 2021. It was been an idea for about a year already. It's been an idea in my head. In my outros of the music, especially in reggaeton, there's a lot of like shout outs at the end of a reggaeton song. It's just like a classic thing to do. I think it's super fun. And one day in the studio in 2018, I said Rakata without even thinking, in one of the outros. So actually, Tu Corazón Roto, to be honest with you. The song we were promoting here that year. And ever since then, it kind of just came out very organically. Obviously, it was something in the back of my mind. Reggaeton music, boom, boom, Wisin y Yandel con la canción Rakata. They're my favorite duo of all time in reggaeton.
Yeah.
And I also love how they come across in interviews, how they carry themselves. So it's more than just the music for Wisin y Yandel.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for them. And whenever I get the day to hopefully meet them, it'll be a respect thing. It won't be like a fan. I'm fanning out. No, I have so much respect for them. Yeah. It'll be a human conversation. So obviously that was kind of, that's probably where it came from, obviously. But then after that, it just kind of, it sounded cool. I kept on saying it in the music. And then people started catching on to it in the music and Rakata thing. And I'm like, man, it'd be cool to brand this. I've always wanted to have a label.
Yeah.
It used to be Campus Entertainment. It wasn't registered or anything through like the government or anything, but it was like, Campus Entertainment. Nah, Campus is my last name, my legal last name. And this Rakata thing came, and I've always wanted to have a brand outside of a label because I just think it's the coolest thing to have a brand outside of yourself as an artist when you're on the come up, or just in general. Jay with Rockefeller, Puff with Bad Boy, what was Daddy Yankee's, I forgot, El Machete or something like Machete Music or something like that, right? I've always thought that's the coolest thing. Wiz Khalifa with his own label, right? Like so many artists that I look up to have that outside brand because it's another way for people to connect. And in 2021 of April 10th, so we must have had the podcast before that, is when I actually got the EIN number. I went and registered the Rakata Music legally, and now we've been paying taxes on it for a couple of years, which totally sucks. Yeah. But, I want to go through that process because you get to learn early taxes, write-offs, things, branding, bank accounts, business credit cards, things. It's gonna come because I know where I want to go.
Right.
So I've been learning a lot, but that's the whole thing with Rakata Music on how it came about. I've always wanted to have a label. I always want to have a brand attached to me outside of my Jairo brand, of course, because I just think that's the coolest thing, and it's a smart business move. Yeah. It's a smart investment, in my opinion. And that's Rakata Music, and ever since then, people connect with it, and that's the coolest thing, right? The impact. That's been the coolest thing. Yeah. That when we go to the club, when we're there and I'm performing, obviously got the merch done, got the logo done with the wolf, identified with the wolf a lot. Badass, I feel like in a different life I was a wolf, and I was part of a pack, and we were out to get it. Yeah. That's how I feel in the music business. That's how I feel in life. And so that's why the wolf is the logo. But the coolest thing is that the impact and it's only been 2 years of really putting it out there. When I see people at the club, when I see people anywhere, they see me and my business partner wearing our merch, it's like they comment on it and they actually think it's cool. I'm like, well, I'm glad you think it's cool because I think it's cool. And so that's been also the coolest thing outside of businessy stuff with the label. It's the impact. So yeah, that's Rakata Music.
No, I like it. You're right. It's getting recognized all over the place. I know I've seen a few videos from that crazy Korean dude, right? The Coreano Loco.
Coreano Loco. Saludos para el Coreano.
Coreano. That's pretty. He says it Rakata. He likes it. Like it's catchy, like you said, right? Like you get into it. So
yeah, that's so cool, and that's just awesome, and. To have the help of my business partner also be a part of it, Yeah. I think that's like the second coolest thing outside of the impact of the people, because that should be the the most important thing, how people perceive it.
Yeah.
It's to be able to share it, be able to share it a little bit and be able to make it grow and, and make it better, I think that's also really cool for me personally.
But, you have been getting so much exposure lately. Well, since you were here, you're coast to coast now. You're traveling all over the place. You were in Miami for a while. You did some of that. You're performing all over the place right now. Where are you getting all that? Is your business partner your only manager, agent? That's it. It's just you two. Yeah. 2-man team right now.
Yeah. No, we both manage the situation. To be honest, it's really difficult to find people who one you can trust. It's really difficult to find people who are actually about it.
Yeah.
Who are not trying to just it's for money or it's for clout or it's their intentions are in the wrong place. It's and I know this, man. It's very difficult to find that.
Oh yeah.
So at the moment, since 2018 when I met my business partner Santos, we've been rocking and we've been learning and growing and together as people and as business partners. And it's really just us managing the social medias. It's us managing the content, ideas, show mixes, podcast. Who he's taking calls, I'm taking calls. He's sending emails, I'm sending emails. It's both ways.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be, so that Jairo the artist can grow. Because if Jairo the artist, we both know that if Jairo the artist can get in front of people, when he does get in front of people, whether it's small or big, doors open up. And if doors open up for that artist, it's gonna open up doors for us. As executives, it's gonna open doors for people we work with that we appreciate. It's just the whole thing's gonna open, and we are both on the same page about that. So that's been really cool. But to answer your question, yeah, man, it's us just putting in the work, and more importantly, the music speaks, the content speaks. People reach out, come to this club, come to this podcast. We heard the song, or we just see the way you're moving. You know what I mean? Like it also has a lot to do with that, with what you put out. If you put your heart into it and you put your intentions and if you just put yourself out there, man, it's really cool how the universe works, man. The universe starts replying sooner or later, and it replies at different times and at different levels. Right now, it's just a little wave. You know what I mean? Cool. Yeah. But man, I've noticed that the harder I work, the more lucky I get, that cliche saying, and it's so true, the
more blessed you get.
So it also has to do with what you put out. Us, we can sit here and call people all day long and they ain't gonna get back to us. We don't see you're not doing anything good for yourself. Right. It's the fact that good music is out. It's the fact that creative content is out. It's the fact that being consistent with the music and with the content is out. And on top of that, being good business people. That to me personally is a huge thing. That's how we're getting all these things.
They say like a business partner, it's like a marriage, right?
Yeah, you could think about it that way. Absolutely.
Couples have disagreements.
Yeah.
How do you guys cope with that? How do you guys deal with that? When you have a disagreement, do you guys bring it to the table? Let's get the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
Is there times when you're like, I really want to roll with this, and it's like, all right. I mean, the thing I'm getting at is it's important to not have yes men.
Absolutely.
Those yes men or women can get you into a lot of trouble, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit it right there on the mark. Having a business partner or having a girlfriend or having a friend or having a mother, for those who still may have their mothers, it's a relationship. Across the board, it's a relationship no matter what. And if you want to see yourself grow together in this relationship, it's not going to be peachy all the time. Yeah. It shouldn't be, because you're trying to grow, and growth means uncomfortable sometimes. Growth means we're pushing the boundaries a little bit, respectfully, not in a disrespectful way, just in terms of growing. And so yeah, absolutely. With me and my business partner, man, yeah, like there's times where we have to sit down and we talk about things, and you see it one way, I see it the other. We don't really agree exactly on certain on maybe whatever that subject we're talking about, but at the end of the day, we both want the best at the end of the day. Yeah. So whatever little you see it this way and I see it this way is only because it's love, it's respect, it's let's get this artist out. This is what it is. And here's the beautiful thing. We know that's where it comes from. Yeah. So it makes it easier to have a little bit of, I don't want to call it confrontation, but it makes it easier to have a little bit of maybe more difficult conversation because, you know, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. It's because we're trying to make it grow. And that's the reason why you're here. It's because you do see it that way. Mm-hmm. And the reason why this works is because I see it this way. That's the mind-boggling thing about it. It's like the same reason why you're kind of maybe like, man, it could be better this way, and you may not agree with it, is the same reason why you're there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just agree on everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why are you here?
Right.
I'm not growing. There's no growth. So yeah, man, that happens sometimes, and I can proudly say that we agree far more than we disagree.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Just how in a marriage, like if you're in a marriage or you're with a girl and like you argue all the time, and that's all you do.
Why are you there? Yeah.
Like all you do is argue. All you do is bicker. Like what is going on? I was just trying to take you to the movies. Like we can sit here and watch a movie. Probably shouldn't be in that relationship.
Right. Yeah.
So if you are disagreeing far more than you agree, you probably shouldn't be in that business relationship. It's not the right person.
Yeah.
And in the 4 years that we've been working together, we agree far more than we disagree, like by a long shot. You know, we have a strong vision of what we want, and we both are hard workers. Maybe that's because we're Mexican, you know, trabajadores. You know? But right. I've been really blessed to be able to share this experience with him. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. You know, you get to a point where you guys start thinking alike, and you're finishing each other's sentences, and it's just like you're finishing each other's ideas and thoughts. Sometimes, you know, like you know what he's thinking, he knows what you're thinking, because you know what direction you guys both want to go, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad that you have that, you know, because there's so many people probably that get, or how many people you think, you know, let's just say, they have the content, have the music, have the identity, but then they sign with the wrong person, and then they just work them like a horse, you know, and then they bring them down to the ground. You've heard stories, you know, you guys are in the industry, but I've heard some of those stories, and a lot of it in like those corridos or trap corrido music. Like you hear a lot of that stuff from the people from Mexico. They come and bring them down, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it happens a lot. Yeah, man. It's been really cool. I've had different business people I've worked with in the past, and clearly it didn't work out for whatever reason, but I learned something in each one of them. And I think for Santos too, you know, we've talked about it. He's had you know, artists that he's wanted to work with, and you know, try to get things going, and you know, for whatever reason, obviously that didn't work out, and I think it was for the best, because it's hard to find that match, someone who has that work ethic, someone who can really have that sauce, you know, and like really bring something to the table.
Yeah.
And then respect. That's the biggest thing too.
Right.
You know, be able to respect each other. So yeah, it's been great, man.
I love it. No, I see you. I know everybody sees you, man, because you're getting noticed. You know, you've done some podcasts, some interviews, like TV.
Yeah.
So I know you're getting noticed. I even thought, like, you know, one day he's gonna come out with a track or an album that says "I see you, Jairo." It's like that's how much.
That sounds a little egotistic. I'm not sure if that's Jairo at the core.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, you know what I mean, like. Yeah, man, it's been cool. It's been cool to get out and people like recognizing the music.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about at the end of the day, is for people to respect the music.
Yeah.
And throughout that journey, they'll get to learn the person too. So that's been really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good, man. We're going to take a quick little break, if you don't mind.
No, we cool.
All right. So I think, you know, right now, please enjoy the little small sample of your latest track.
Yeah. Latest track, Tragos. Tragos is out now. Go ahead and check it out. You can check me out on Dímelo Jairo on all my social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Tragos out now, my latest single. I know you guys are going to love it. So let's go. Jairo Tragos, Rakata Music with Talking Again Podcast. Let's go.
Esta wea siempre es lógica. Verónica, Jessica, Brianna y Gabriela. Dile a tu novio bye bye. Con él no te dejas llevar. Tómate un trago y terminamos dando. Toma 2 tragos para tú y yo bailarlo. Esto es simple, baby, sabes lo que quieres, tú sabes lo que tienes. Esto es simple. Tómate un trago para darte lo que traigo. Tómate un trago para tú y yo gozarlo. Toma 2 tragos.
Yeah, there's a video that we shot called Bonita to a song I have called Bonita. And that's how that was like the idea. It starts with because the clapper.
Oh,
at
yeah,
the beginning of the song or the video.
Yeah.
Those are my hands too, by the way.
Your hands doing the clapper. Yeah.
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 Speaking of hands, hey, we are back.
Yo, what up?
What's up? Somehow I appeared
let's get
here.
that round of applause. Hands, right? Yeah, I did say speaking of hands. I don't know why I said that.
No, it's cool.
But yes, we do have a new face here in the studio. It's not just
What up? What up? What up?
not just Jairo. We have the business partner that you guys kept hearing about. It is Santos himself.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being on here.
I didn't think I was gonna be on here. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, I had a surprise mic for you right here.
I
See
like
that?
it. I like
A
it.
surprise microphone. I like that.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you know, in the real and like the Instagram, they would just do something like this right here, and it would just
Yeah.
appear, right?
Here, let's do it. Santos appear. Well, no, he's in the shot.
He's already in the shot.
We had
He's
to
in
do it
frame.
before.
Yeah.
That's why I said earlier. I was like, somehow I just appeared here. Wow.
You know what? For the next episode, we'll do something.
Yeah, do something like
magical
that. That's a good idea. Appear now.
No,
And then you just cut it.
and then cut. It's all edit. It's all magic. But
Yeah.
speaking of magic, you guys, Rakata, that's magic. It's when I see the videos, I just see this camaraderie. I see this vibe. I see good energy, and good things coming out of it. Like positive things are coming out of it. So, I commend you guys for that, for staying loyal to each other for over 3 years now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to mean a lot. You guys have already gone through so much, right? And then you will expect to go through so much more.
Facts.
So let's start off with this. How did you guys get started? How did you guys meet?
Passing over to Santos.
Oh man. I mean, I saw this kid just trying to make music, and I'm like, he sounded horrible. No, I'm just kidding.
And then you met Jairo, right?
No, we met through our friend Johnny, Nine Diamond.
Shout out to Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny. Jairo was recording at the studio where I had a studio at too, but I was cutting hair. I cut hair.
Okay.
And he was always in there. So he was always in there. We just became friends to begin with.
Yeah.
I heard his music at the time. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. Every time I had to get in and out outside the building, I had to go through the room. He'd be there sometimes. We say, hello, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And then he needed a haircut one day. He just came, oh, come get a haircut. Got a haircut, showed me his music. Yeah, I like the music. And as a genuine friend, I was just like, oh, let me listen to your music.
Yeah.
But I do that not just with him, but with everybody else around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked his music. I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to go support him. He had a show. He had a manager at the time, too. And, it was a vibe, and then...
That was a fun show.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Being backstage, all of us, we took
Oh, man,
shots.
we were lit.
You
Yeah.
remember that show where it was at and everything?
It was September 28th, 2017.
This guy, are you serious?
at the what's the venue called?
Somewhere in downtown.
The Exchange.
The Exchange, yeah.
And Johnny, who we met through, was there. His brother Santos. Come backstage. We're taking shots.
And we were already pre-gaming in the parking lot right before that, too.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are right.
Yeah. And then that's how we met. And then just one day, he decided to do Spanish music. At the time, what were we doing? Pop?
Yeah,
What do you
pop,
consider that?
rap,
Pop,
yep.
rap, hip-hop. And then he started doing Spanish music. And I just happened to have friends in the DJ world who do clubs and events and stuff like that. Because I used to be a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I'm into the music. And I told him, yo, I like the song. This song is actually really dope. So I could have one of my friends play it at a club so you could see the reaction. We're not even working together. That's just like a homie thing.
Yeah.
And he came by. The song is called 2 a.m. Latin Remix.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was so nervous that night. Not because of them playing the music, but because I thought my friend was not going to play the song.
Oh.
Guess till what time he played the song?
At 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Of course.
The last song.
I had him there like, 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
From like the time the club opened.
Or 10 p.m. Not 10 a.m.
10 p.m.
10
Yeah.
p.m., yeah.
And then I'm just waiting. Like, when is he going to play the song?
Yeah, and you're over there sweating bullets like, oh, come
No,
on.
I was having a lot of fun.
Hey,
actually,
we
He
brought
was
some friends
sweating
over.
bullets. Yeah.
I was nervous because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gonna make me look bad,
Yeah,
But then he ended up playing the last song at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
And we saw the feedback. He liked it, and then that's how we're here now.
nice.
Yeah, that's how it started.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, when did you guys have that conversation of let's work together?
Well, this is how I lit up because then he made some more music, some more Spanish music, and he showed it to me, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. We're still not working together. And then like, would you like to perform this? I asked him, would you like to perform? I can try and get my friend, who's a DJ who played the song, to get you to perform that.
Yeah.
Right? And he made it happen. Shout out to Swanky.
Shout out
Lugs
to Swanky.
and Nonfiction.
Yep.
And from that one show, like 8 other shows came about from that one show. And
At the same venue?
No.
Different places.
Different
places.
Clubs.
So there were other promoters,
Oh, wow.
other
All right.
organizers
Yeah.
there at that event. And then from that one show, they saw him perform. They're like, yo, come over here. Yo, come over here. Come over here. And I saw it then too. He didn't even have to perform it because I seen him perform somewhere else. But I'm like, I know what that music can do. And so let me help him out by putting him here.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'm like, hey, I can help you out if you want, you know. And then
we just continued.
Yeah.
And we did maybe have a couple conversations where
yeah.
You really want to do this? Okay, cool. You know, kind of like a little sit down. Maybe I remember over food, you know, over dinner.
Yeah.
And, you know, light stuff. Just, hey, you want to do it? Yeah, it should be fun. And here we are 4 years later, man.
Yeah.
You know.
But what was going through your mind at that point where you weren't thinking like who's this guy and what's he? I mean, yeah, he's cool and everything, but like, what's his intention? Like, is he really trying to help me out, or did all that prove to you like the stuff that he was doing? Like, oh, hey, this guy's for real.
So I've had, like he mentioned, when he met me, someone else was helping manage my situation. At that point, I already had 2 different managers, roles, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, trying to help me out and stuff. You know, I've always been someone who's been hands-on with my stuff, so it's a co-thing. But people who were in that position, kind of thing, right? So obviously that didn't work out. But when he came around, to answer your question, is I could sense the sincerity in just, hey man, I just maybe he's just really good with people. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. He didn't make me feel like, who is this guy? Like, what's his intention?
Yeah.
Like with some other people, it was clear to kind of see their intention a little bit. With him, it was just kind of more, like he said, like helping out a homie kind of thing. And so I didn't really think anything of it. I just, you want the music? Here you go, man. Oh, yeah, you got a place? Yeah, you got a Downey Iguanas? What? In Downey, California? Yeah, they could play the song? Really? Cool, yeah, all right, I'll go with you, man. I'll show up at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Boom. They're kind of just like that. Just kind of like, cool, I'll roll with it. I'm rolling with it. You know, I'm allowing it to happen. And then next thing you know, people are like, hey, we like your music. Come perform here. Come perform there. It's like, bro, like, can you come with me? Because kind of, you know, I just moved here from Minnesota. That's where I grew up. You know, maybe it'd been a couple of years. So he's rolling with me, you know, right there, making sure nothing bad happens to me either. I'm sure, you know, like he's watching my back. And throughout that time, I wasn't thinking this is who I'm gonna work with. What's his intentions? It was just going with the flow.
Yeah.
When it got to the point where I could tell he was a fan of the music, several months later, maybe 3 months later or something, Obsession and Corazón Roto, I was recording those songs and I was showing you the demos. It's kind of when we had that sit down, a little bit of a sit down. Hey man, you really want to do this? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what to call him then, you know, as a manager, as a business partner. You know, we actually have figured that out throughout our journey, you know, because he does multiple things. I do multiple things on the back end as opposed to just being the artist. And he does more than just making a phone call or something, you know. There's a lot more. We do content, behind the scenes, security. Being security. I know he'll be there for me. And not that I'm trying to start any trouble. He would be there and say, this is not happening.
Well, I'm sure he's your job is to fight off all the girls, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, pobrecito.
No. The girls be peeping them out, man. So anyways, long story short, to answer your question, it wasn't like, that's what I was thinking. Nothing with bad intention. It was just going with the flow. Once I saw that he was a fan and the interest was there, it's like, well, why don't we try it?
Yeah. Well, Jairo, you were doing that full time since you left Minnesota and you came here. That's what you've been doing, right? Just the music. For you, Santos, you know, you're cutting hair. Was that your full time gig before? Just
that was my full time.
So at what point did you? And I'm not sure. Are you still cutting hair?
Yeah, I still cut hair.
There you go.
Yeah.
By the way, the best.
The best.
The
Is
best.
he still cutting your hair?
He's still cutting
there
my
you
hair.
go. Maybe one time.
I just want to put that out there. You know, people should know. He's cutting hair because he's the best.
I'm the best.
Hit up Santos.
So seriously, yeah. 818. I can't give it a number.
555.
Is it an 818 number? No. Oh yeah, I was just coming up with a number.
But so at what point, Santos, did you commit to that? Like, I'm gonna do this full time with him too.
With the music.
Yeah.
So I guess my love and passion is not like necessarily with music. I do love music because that was my first thing was a DJ. So my uncles were sonideros. They used to do like events and stuff like that. So I would see them and I'm like, oh, they're controlling the crowd with just music.
Yeah.
So I got attached to that and they taught me how to do it and I just evolved my skills as a DJ. And then from there, I was always cutting. I ended up cutting hair. I had my own clothing brand. And from there, I had to develop how to brand and market and all that stuff. And I actually fell in love with that more than cutting hair, DJing, the music, because it's something beautiful watching something from scratch.
Or an idea, or just an
idea. Just an idea and bringing it to light and making it something bigger than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I like the most. I'm like, how can I create something from nothing to something? You know, make it big.
Yeah.
And then with the music thing too, I have told him before I even met him, when I really got into the branding and marketing, my goal was I want to find a good artist to help like manage and market and do all that stuff and go global.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I saw my overall goal was like, I want that to be my job.
Yeah.
Because I can see the perks that comes with that, meaning like getting paid to travel, going over here, experiencing different stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, showcasing the music to the world, you know, for them to enjoy. So I think that's where it came from.
So the music, the thing that you love, that you love to enjoy, you listen to, it was just a catalyst to get you to what you are doing now. Is that's that marketing, right? The business side of it, the promoting, which is, like you said, fun, right? You're developing, you're creating something like an idea and just making it happen. So you think that's what makes you guys a really good team, is that you have the same mentality, that same way of thinking, and you have the same goal?
Yes. So the vision is how we're like. We want to be big in the sense of global, not big in ego. No, big in the sense of we want to expand this brand because we know it's worth it for people to see. We believe in it. We believe in Jairo the artist. We believe in the music, in our work ethic to get them up there. And like I said before, everyone's gonna benefit. All of us, our families, everyone. And other business ventures will come of that. How fun would that be, right? So we have the same vision, but we also work well together because we're different. We know our roles. He's not trying to be an artist. Like you say, he didn't even know he's going to be on camera today. He's like, sure, I'll do it. And he's willing to hop on.
Yeah.
He's nice guy, he's a good guy, and let's do it.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, right? We know that this is also content, and it's fun to talk to good people. But what I'm trying to say here is he's not trying to be the artist, man. We have different roles. I'm not trying to be a guru in marketing, although yes, nowadays as an artist in 2023, you do have to know some things about marketing and put your content together yourself and do things. You do. Well, that's our way of me helping him, and vice versa. It's like, but I'm not trying to, that's not my role. My joy is in the music, on stage, performing the music, artistry, bringing good people along with me, right? That's my role. That's my pocket. Yeah. His pocket is marketing, promoting. How can we take something that's basically almost nothing into something so global, so that really I can help someone and be proud of that. Yeah. And that pocket. That's how we don't clash. I've noticed that people clash when they try to do the same role. Trying to be the same artist. That's why you see this kind of competition with an artist, because it's like artists are being artists. Yeah. Or even with anything, or basketball players with basketball players, or even women at the club. Who's the prettiest? Like, it's always like, in the team, we were talking about Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Oh, right. Rodman and Pippen. They weren't trying to be Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan, and Pippen to be Pippen. Michael couldn't do what Pippen was doing. Right. So that's why we also work well together. We have the same vision, but we also are different because we have our own separate roles. Yeah.
And well, let me tell you, you said right now, you're the artist. When you're on stage, that's your thing. I think that's what gets, and I'm a little off topic here, but I think that's what gets people engaged, is that they see the genuine emotion that you have towards this music. You're out there having fun. You feel it. You're passionate about it. That's your music. That's your baby that you created. And I think that it resonates well on video, on stage. I saw you were performing in a ring. I don't know what event that was.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it like a
That was
lucha
fun.
Boxing, yeah.
Okay.
Shout out, yeah,
Oh, it was.
yeah. We were in San Bernardino.
I think so.
Yeah, somewhere over there. Yeah. Actually, he knows people and some people in boxing. Shout out to Michael Hunter and Mike G. Who Mike G is the manager, manager in other words, for Michael Hunter, one of the best boxers out there, heavyweight, right? Heavyweight. They keep in touch and whatever, and they know one of them was putting an event together in San Bernardino, and hey, we should have Jairo perform. And I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
He's like, let's do it.
It was fun. It was different. I've been
was
to
fun.
some boxing events like Thompson Boxing, and I've never seen a performance like on stage like that. That would have been awesome. So it's really cool to see that in the ring like that.
Yeah.
For you to do that. How was your experience with that? Like first time ever in a ring?
I think it was. I think in a boxing ring like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was my first time. It was difficult, to be honest with you. The ring is not solid like a stage.
No.
It's bouncy.
It's
got
bouncy,
a little
man.
bit of a give, right?
And I'm wearing Chelsea boots, like I'm like, it's like, damn, like I gotta watch my footing.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was up there, I was thinking about my footing, not obviously making it obvious. I had to perform, but I was being careful. It was a little concerning. Like, am I gonna twist my ankle here?
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, it was fun. It was fun to hop in the ring and perform music from somewhat of a different perspective.
Yeah.
Inside the ring, it's a different crowd. It's not like a music event. It's like,
Right.
and I love that. I love the challenge. And then they had a couple other people perform or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm like, yeah, bring it. Bring
Nice.
it. You know what I mean? Because, not over here, man.
Yeah.
I love that, man. You know what I'm saying? I know that he loves being competitive too in music and marketing and different things in his life. And same here. And that's one of the reasons why we connect, I think. I try to be a nice guy, to people, but man, don't play with me, man. Not when it comes to music, like in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Oh man. So when I saw there was a couple other people performing in front of me, before me, and it was not a music crowd, I'm like, bring it, man.
Yeah,
I'm about to give you a show of your life.
Yeah.
The whole intro with the Rakata intro. Then we had a screen too.
Oh, yeah?
Put this video
Yeah,
together. It
put
had
the visual
flames on it.
together.
All the music videos were on it. Like, it was fun.
Yeah.
And I would definitely do it again.
Well, I mean, you put yourself in the seat, right, of the audience. They're expecting boxing. That's it, right? Like I tell you, I've never seen that. So, for them to like witness something like this, like, whoa, what was the kind of reaction that they got? Like, do you remember the crowd?
Yeah, off the bat, some of the people that enjoyed the music, like reggaeton, just to be clear, once they heard them and that first song, we know how to attack the show mix.
Yeah.
So we go in there like, this is going to be the first song because this is how we know. We always go with the intentions like they've never heard of. So let's make sure we attack strong from the beginning. So, they pay attention. Off the bat, there's clips that you can see. They're jumping up and down. They're waving their hands because the first song, because that beat is bouncy.
Yeah.
So the reaction was good.
Yeah. Nice.
It's fun watching those videos.
Yeah.
It's like, because I can't really see it from stage as much as, I'm focusing. I see them, but I'm not, are they paying attention to me? No, it's not about me. It's about them.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm performing for y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not really paying attention too much.
Yeah, it is fun for me to see from the outside because we put the show mixes together for that reason. And as for me, I'm like, I knew that was going to happen.
Really?
Or this could be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
or
this could be better.
better.
See, I'm thinking like that too, but like, it's like bringing something from nothing because then you see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I knew it. So it's just little, I guess, rewards.
Yeah.
So the audience was popping when you expected them to pop.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
so to speak.
That's
like
always
it.
the coolest, man.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
So speaking of performances, you've been, like I said, coast to coast, right? You performed in Miami?
Yeah, there was I think around when we did the interview with you around that time, early 2021. We're doing like a PR run.
Yeah.
And Miami was one of the places.
Yeah.
and we were doing a TV show, a couple of different TV shows, a couple of different interviews, and really fun people over there. There's a lot of Cubans over there, and they have that tienen su acento y todo, like the way they talk, and it's
Almost
just
got married over there.
Well,
you know, and it's just refreshing to hear that, you know, like to be able to go out to a different place and experience different cultures. I think, like he was talking about perks that come with it. You know, it's like just being able to experience different cultures and, you know, things like that. And yes, there was a couple of TV show performances I did, and super fun, super fun. Again, it's like, okay, in front of the camera, there's more people here. I love the stage, man. That's probably my favorite thing.
I mean, you take over. You know, I've seen some of those clips, and yeah, you definitely that's your home. You know, you're most comfortable there, and you could tell. You know what I mean? So like I say, when I see you, you see the energy, you see the vibe, and you're enjoying yourself. You're having fun. Yeah. You take over a stage.
That's the point. I mean? That's the goal, in a good way, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I always tell Santos, I want to attack the stage, and that's exactly the terminology that I use. Quiero atacar.
Yeah.
You ever seen, which we have, because we're all three of us were into sports in some way or another. You know, the Super Bowl. Yeah. You know, those players ain't playing. They're trying to win a Super Bowl or the NBA Finals. They're not, you know, passing it around, going through the motions like in a regular season game. You know, I specifically think of soccer in the FIFA or like the World Cup.
Yeah.
I specifically, as a kid, I remember my mother was always into watching soccer, and I remember watching regular games.
Yeah.
And then I remember as a kid watching World Cup games. And it was like a night and day difference to me as a little kid, I could tell.
Yeah,
I mean, they were attacking. It's not about passing the ball and see, let's get in. Nope, we're going to score as much as we can. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. And that's our purpose within the show mix. And that is my intention in a good way, not be overly aggressive. There's some balance. When I perform in front of people, I love it, man. I love the challenge, and I love that. Just voy a atacar and give you a good time. If you're going to sit here for however long the show mix is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm going to make sure that you try to enjoy it as best as possible in the way I want to present it. And if you do, you do, and if you don't, you don't. But either way, you're not going to walk away with, he kind of was into it. Nah, man, this is it. I've been doing this since I was 11. That was my first performance.
Wow.
I'm 32 now, man. That's home for me, like you said. That's probably my favorite part.
Your comfort zone, you know?
Yeah, outside of the studio.
Well, you know, every story, every movie, every show nowadays has their hero and their villain. You know, what in your guys' industry, right? You've been doing it for 3-4 years now.
Together.
What have you guys noticed is the biggest challenge?
Ooh, the biggest challenge?
Question. Yeah.
That's a good question. I guess the biggest challenge is just dealing with certain people at the time, because sometimes people's energies are not all the same. So just dealing with the bad energies, trying to just weave them out. That's probably the most challenging part, because then, of course, we're only human. Yeah. So, you know, you tend not to react so fast to it. Other than that, I don't see that much of a challenge. But also, I guess the other challenge would be, you know, getting really people to see, like, Jairo, the music, the performance, and get them to see the vision. You know, because not everybody is willing to see an upcoming artist and, like, you know, help them out, or at least, I like the music, go up to them, et cetera, et cetera. You know, people, you know, we live in a day and age where, like, people get fed everything, the radio, television, you know, so they see what's popular, so they want to go over there instead of, look what we have over here.
Right.
You know, so that's one of the challenges part too.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know, so, like, let's just say you have a show, or you go to an interview, a TV interview, and you have a vision of where you want the interview to go. Now, the interviewer or the production company, they have their vision. Do you guys ever conflict with that? Does anyone, who has to give at that point?
That's interesting. I don't know if we've run into that too often, but for me, you know, I'm an open book when it comes to talking anything about music and business, and any of that. And if it's their show, it's their show. They're running the show. Right. You know what I mean? So you can take it wherever you want. You know, I can say no. You don't have to answer the question. You can politely, you know, steer the conversation a different way. So I haven't ran into that too much, I think, in an interview, but I'm sure I will as the career continues to grow. And man, it's like, here's the thing, man. Getting into this is like, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and I've known this for years. You're going to lose your privacy as you continue to get bigger. And I'm not going backwards, man. We're going forward.
Yeah.
So it's like I already see it. I already see it, and it's fine. You got to be okay with that. If you're not okay with losing your privacy, if you're not okay with people asking you uncomfortable questions because they're the ones running the show, and then you have to know how to navigate that. That's part of your job. That's part of being an artist. If you're not willing to be put on the spotlight almost 24/7 and this is how you could do it better. This is how this would be. If you're not willing to like get told all the time by people, this is how it could be better, and it's all for it being better or constructive criticism or people not liking the music. If you're not willing to be up late, if you, bro, like I'm telling you, that's the thing. I in many ways understand like my pocket, and I know that some of those things will come up, and it's just about maneuvering them. The cool thing is that I know that they're coming. So it's like, it's not like, oh, I got blindsided by that.
Right, yeah.
You know, I've been peeping the game and watch a lot of interviews, as we all have, of people that I look up to, not only in the industry, but just anyone that I look up to, psychologist, inspirational speaker, music business, artist. You know, I've been studying the game, as we all have, I'm sure. You know, probably most likely the things that you're going to deal with in some way or another.
No, yeah.
And so it wouldn't surprise me if, you know, people want to have their narrative.
Well, you know, and I asked that because just in podcasting alone, right? Because you know how popular it is. You guys yourselves have your own podcast, but how popular podcasting is nowadays. A lot of times the interviewer has an idea of where they want the interview to go, right? They just have it played in their mind where they talk over their guests. You know, they interrupt their guests and they don't allow their guests to. Whereas like I have an idea of where I want it to go, but I'm not locked into that. You know what I mean? If you're talking something and it's great, I'm gonna let you go. That's what it's all about. I think that's what kind of I was going at. Like, you know, did you ever have that? Because I've heard the interview like you had with Tony A. He's a great podcaster. The guy is really good, listens, you know, actually engages into the conversation as opposed to like just Q&A. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm glad that you haven't had that and came across that. So that means you're being selective as to where you go to your podcasting.
Yeah.
As well, so.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, here and there, we'll probably run into a bad apple, you know, and when that time comes, I'm aware of it. I'm aware to a certain degree what I'm stepping into.
Yeah.
At least more than I was when I was a kid.
Yeah,
you know, and that's because I love the game. I love the game and everything that comes with it, the good and the bad. And so then, you know, I'm peeping the game and I'm seeing and I'm adjusting, and it's so much fun, man.
Yeah.
It's just fun. That's
what I'm
the
saying,
biggest
like,
thing.
When you get there, and you will, you're gonna be already a seasoned vet at it, you know, because you've been around it.
There's always more to learn. There's always more to see. So, but I'm sure we'll have some experience under our belt that can help us move forward and make better decisions.
So what's the next move?
What is the next move?
Just to continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
This was one of the next moves right here.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, like as said, we're both playing the management parts. You know, we saw what you did for the last podcast. You came up with great questions, great conversations. So that's why we're like, hey, we should do that one again.
Yeah.
You know, as a marketing and promotions as well. It's like that's gonna work in both our favors at the same time. So you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys.
That.
I hope I was, you know, as good as I was the first time.
Yo, of course.
And I haven't said that twice.
Hey,
ever.
man. And you know, if I can elaborate on what he's saying,
yes.
What's next is to continue to work with good people.
There you go.
I think that's where he's getting at too.
Yeah.
Is to continue to work with people who are worth it, people who seem to have some type of interest, to work with people who see that bigger picture in one way or another, that we continue to say in this conversation. Because we really believe that. We really believe that if we put our best foot forward, as we do as much as we can, and continue to work with good people, right? We put Jairo out there, man. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Santos and I are big believers in that.
Yeah.
And it sounds really weird coming out of me because I'm obviously the artist, but I mean that as much as I can from an outside point of view. It's just black is black, white is white, bro.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool that Santos believes in that, and it's really cool to continue to work with people who also may see that.
Yeah.
And that's our plan.
Nice.
Because todo lo demás is like, I ain't questioning my work ethic. I ain't questioning that I'm gonna put out stuff. I ain't questioning the music. No, que Dios me dé vida, gracias. Ojalá Dios me dé más vida y salud, buena gente. And I say it all the time. He hears me say it all the time. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we need, my brother.
It's like you say, staying activos, right? Muy activos.
Seguir activos.
Yeah.
Oh, Seguir activos. So thank you for having us, man.
No, man. I appreciate you guys and your guys' time right here. I do want to end the show talking about Tragos.
Okay.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So that's the latest album I know, or the latest release. That's
Single, yeah.
Single. We did talk about it in the previous segment, but Tragos, I mean, where did that get started? The idea, I know you guys have fun. Obviously, when you're recording, when you stop recording, you guys have a little bit of drinks here and there. Is that where it came from? And plus, is there gonna be girls in the video? Because Jairo seems to get girls in every single video, right? Like that he has. So
there's got to be girls in the video, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
There's gotta be girls. There's gotta be tragos.
yeah.
Cubanas,
Oh
Mexicanas,
man.
No, he don't discriminate.
Colombianas.
Does not discriminate.
Morenita.
Morenitas, so we don't.
Güeritas.
Morenitas,
Yeah.
güeritas, blanquitas, gorditas, flaquitas.
There you go.
Hey, we ain't discriminating nobody,
No.
man. We take them all, man.
Yeah,
Los que
yeah.
quieran ser fans, y they want to be, part of a good music and part of a good time.
Yeah.
They're more than welcome. But yeah, Tragos is just a fun track. Being that we're in music, yes, we do podcasts, yes, we do the stage or whatever, but we also get invited to events.
Yeah.
And a lot of networking happens there, know. Believe it or not, over the loud music. A lot of these opportunities have come over the club. A lot of collaborations, artists you meet at the club, and you hit it off and you go, So you're around women, you're around alcohol, you're around music, and you're around that energy, and there's a talent. You have to know how to control that, of course. But to get to Tragos, right? It's like that's what inspired the song. To be honest with you, it wasn't much more to it, and just that was the feeling that came out at the studio, and Tómate un trago, it came out, and the content has been really cool to create, and how people are connecting to it. It's like the song is called Tragos, and we're making fun content around drinking and whatever, some tips when people get hungover. We have a clip that talks about tips we give when people get hungover. Don't take 4 shots in a row. Don't mix tequila with vodka and rum. There's a clip where I'm making my favorite drink, the mystery drink, like different content like that. We've been having fun with the brand of Tragos.
Yeah.
And yeah, go check it out. Tragos is out now. Ya está fuera. Apple Music, Spotify. You can check me out on the what's it called? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Dímelo Jairo, and check out Tragos.
That's right.
Yeah.
Video coming soon.
A lot of content too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I gotta say about Tragos.
And then speaking of tragos, what's your favorite trago?
My favorite trago, I like whiskey. So when I do trago, as far as like a mixed drink, I'll do like a Jack and whiskey. Like I'm sorry, a Jack and Coke.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the Jack and whiskey, double it up.
This guy's been having too many
Double it
Tragos. It's empty.
It's empty, and the bottle's empty too. But yes, Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke. So I really love a whiskey, neat. When it's a nice cold day, I'll drink it neat. In the summertime, I'll put a couple ice cubes in it. But lately, dude, I've been hitting that mezcal.
Yeah,
but it has that whiskey type of flavor.
It does.
A
The
little
smoky,
oaky, smoky and oaky. Yeah,
it does.
So that's why I think that's why I like mezcal. Tequila, I can live without. I like it. I enjoy it. But the mezcal just hits it a little differently, and I think it's because I like whiskey.
Have you noticed the buzz is different on the mezcal?
You know what? But it doesn't. I don't get a hangover. I don't get like a nasty hangover or anything like that. Just it's good. But our people, that's what they drank. They drank the mezcal, and they drank it like they had that for breakfast. Some of them did. You know what I mean? Like that was their drink, dude.
Yeah.
So for them to go out there, have a little breakfast mezcal, shot of mezcal, and then go out in the fields and start working all day, come back, have a coffee, and then a little bit more mezcal. Like, it's just, I don't know.
You know what's crazy? You're making me think of when I was a kid growing up in Mexico. I also grew up in Mexico City. That's where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And then my mom's from Michoacan, and her family's still there. And we would go there as kids. And el maguey, there was a couple of times where they needed help, and I was probably 8. And they're like, they'd wake up at like 4 a.m, and they'd bring me and my brother, and we'd go, and they would carve out the whatever from the tequila, the maguey. They would go in there and they'd carve out the thing. We'd come back with buckets, and they'd make their own pulque, they make their own beer. Yeah. And you were talking about, that's what my people's drinking. It's like, bro, I was there, bro. Like, our family literally does that.
You were making it.
And I wasn't making it, but I was helping carve it out.
Have you had pulque?
Yeah, I have.
That shit's fucking good.
It's crazy.
And Oof.
Yeah.
That one and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's funny you said that you had that for breakfast. I think just the other day on Saturday, me and my dad had a mezcal right before I went to work. I'm like, all right, let's go.
There's
Shout out to Santos' dad, man.
that's normalizing drinking, all right?
He's older, so he only had one. I took two.
There you go. And with that said, you guys, Tragos is out, available everywhere. Go check it out. Jairo, Santos, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you, man.
Thank you. Hope to see you again soon.
We will.
And you're welcome to the Rakata podcast whenever you want.
Oh, you guys just send me the signal, and that's it. I'll be there.
It's
There it
facts.
is.
All right. All right, you guys, take it there. I love you guys.
Peace
Adios.
out, guys.
Bye.
Talking Again podcast. Let's go.
When are you going to start talking again?